Welcome, everybody, back to the LWN Network. It is so good to see you again. It is Monday, February 9th, 2026. I do have LW in the background. He's back home from his travels and work, so he's in the hot seat there, ready to go. We've got Jeff B. He's at home too as well. He's been he said kind of snowed and iced in, so the boys are ready to get going on the show tonight. I know you guys are too. It's been great to have some time off and stuff and reflect on a lot of things going on, but boy, now we have some ammunition and things we want to discuss tonight for the show, including what was Tulsi Gabbard doing in Puerto Rico. Jeff has the hot details on that. We've got Is Epstein alive? Now, I know each and every one of you have seen the pictures out there and you've seen a lot of the talk that's going on. So we're going to discuss that as well. And we also are going to talk about, hey, are we going to have a national emergency, you guys, or are we going to end up voting? There's lots to discuss tonight, some hot topics as well. And Jeff B has a great couple promos going on for merchandise, and we're going to ask him about that for you guys. And it's all coming up just right after this.
All right. Welcome back to LWN tonight. Glad to have my co-host, my partner, Tammy, the Hammer Nation, and of course, our good friend and co-host, Jeff B with us tonight. We got a lot to cover. First question right out the gate. I'm asking everybody live tonight. Do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive? And we're going to get to that. We got a lot to cover. Jeff, we got some really good advertisement going for merchandise. We want to talk about that real quick. I know that's some of everybody's favorite topics. So what are you going to do for all the LWN listeners? You want to run a promo. So what do they get?
Is this the part of the show where we do reverse grifting?
This is the part of the show where we do the reverse grifting. Yes.
All right, let me see. So there is, let me see what we have here. I know if you order $45 or more, we are shipping everything out to you for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and that, there's, yep. And the promo code for that is free ship. So FREESHIP. And then the second deal that we got is we got 3 of the LWN tumblers up on the website now. And for this month, you'll get 20% off of the tumbler.
Okay. Sounds
good.
That
is so cool. So cool. And then I think that we were going to do 20% off, no coupon required for the shirts if you ordered $45 or more, or 20% off, no coupon required till the end of the month we were going to do, I think, too. Or did we change that?
Yeah, I think that was for the tumblers and free shipping for the shirt, for anything $45 or more.
So you guys, if you enter free ship when you order $45 or more, you're going to get the free shipping. And then the tumblers are 20% off. And I think that's pretty amazing. I know LW has been waiting for those dang tumblers.
They're coming. And they're cool. War Machine did an awesome job on the tumblers. I think you guys are going to absolutely love these new tumblers. They're pretty cool. So pretty excited for that. We had some people say that we got knocked off, but I see us up on YouTube, so I know we're on YouTube because I just clicked on it. So I think we're good, but who knows? Who knows what happens, especially when you're talking about some of the stuff we talk about, right?
Yeah. And they've still been coming after people as much as we like to think that they don't. We're up on Rumble as well. It says that we're live too. So I think
Okay.
that we're pretty good, and I can hear you guys nice and loud and clear. So hopefully everything is good. Jeff B, somebody said they can't hear you at all, but you guys got to
I
check
hear
your
'em
volumes
fine.
and stuff, and I hear them fine. So you
Yeah,
guys,
in the beginning I had to go out and come back in.
yeah. So the chat's probably delayed a little bit or something. So
Well,
that's just
let's catch up for a minute. So
yeah.
I just got back from the East Coast. I've been gone for 2 weeks. We did do what 2 or 3 nights there in the hotel, Tammy.
Uh-huh.
And that was fun. That was the first week I was gone. We didn't do anything last week because I was just I was way too tied up. I could not find the time to do it. And Tammy had family stuff that she had to take care of too, required her time. So it's only been a little less than 2 weeks since we've been on, and I know people were asking questions, and we appreciate you guys reaching out to us. So we are back. And we have, like I said, a lot to talk about. There's been a lot going on in the last week and a half, and it's been a total storm, to be honest with you. It's hard to even keep up with everything that not just X and some of the alternative outlets are putting out, but Jeff, you had even mentioned a lot of the stuff starting to hit mainstream too. Like there's people out there talking about some of the stuff that we've been talking about, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, just you have with this Save Act that they're putting on the floor of the Senate, 81% of registered Democratic voters want the Save Act to where you have to show ID to vote. So,
Hold on.
yeah,
What did you just say? Can you repeat that, please? I don't know if I was having technical difficulty in my ear. What could you speak a little louder and say that one more time? What did you just say?
that 81% of the Democratic registered voters want people to show ID when voting.
Okay.
I wonder what happened to flip that switch. Or has it always been that way? And it was just the so-called leaders saying that they didn't want that. And now the actual people who do the voting are speaking up and speaking out for a change.
Right. Or maybe they're,
You know what it is? I got the real answer, Jeff. They are sick and tired of the MAGA cheating when it comes to voting. So I saw some things out the other day that said, let's please keep MAGA from cheating again and require voter ID. So maybe that's what's going on.
Well, it could be. I mean, that'd be a hell of a plan.
But I mean, honestly, it is both sides. It's not just one sided on that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
It is both sides that do things. But yeah, I think if we at least go in that direction, a lot more people will feel like our elections are a little more secure. Would you guys both agree with that? Not perfect, but more secure.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we've gone over this before, and common sense tells you that you need voter ID to drive. You need voter ID to buy cigarettes. You need voter ID to, buy alcohol. You need voter, or ID.
Not voter, just ID.
ID.
Yeah.
I mean, so if I've got voter ID on the
I'm here to keep you on the right track.
Keep doing that. But yeah, you need ID for everything. Even when you check into a hotel, half the time they want to make sure that you're who you say you are. So I mean, it's just been ridiculous. And I think that people are finally learning how crooked and corrupt everything is. And I think everybody wants fair elections. The best person wins by the votes of America and the people that vote. Legal citizens that vote as well. No illegals. This has been just such a mess for so long that I think people are just fed up.
Yeah, you have to show ID to buy cough syrup. That ain't no lie. With certain medications, over-the-counter medications, you even have to show ID for that. So a lot of people saying that our audio is choppy or freezing up. A lot of people are saying they're hearing us just fine. And so I don't know what's going on, folks. I don't believe it's anything on our end. It very well could just be some technical issues through StreamYard or whatever, but stick with us. A lot of people are saying they can hear us just fine now. So when we're talking about voting, okay, I want to save the EpSTEIN stuff for very last because it's a hot topic and there's a lot of stuff going around on the internet. Jeff, you had shared with us earlier today that there were individuals that were in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. And could you maybe explain to everybody who's there and why you feel like that is an important area, Italy?
Well, you know that you had the opening ceremony of the Olympics, and as part of the U.S. delegation, you had the vice president, and then you had the secretary of state. And I didn't watch any of it, and I got a text from a buddy of mine saying, "Hey, go to NBC or whatever it was, and watch the section where they showed Vance and Marco Rubio, and look a couple rows back and tell me who you see." And my response reply back, I said, "Is it Elvis? Is it JFK? I mean, he goes, just go look." And son of a Trisket, if Admiral Rogers wasn't sitting three rows back.
Dang.
So it's kind of odd that Admiral Rogers is hanging out with Vance and Marco Rubio in Italy, where Leonardo was supposedly playing a part in the election.
Well, they showed a bunch of them leaving Leonardo's little shebang, and it was a bunch of celebrities as well. And I thought that was really weird. They had an all-nighter or something, and then they were walking as a group towards it. It was just kind of crazy. But it's amazing that Admiral Rogers came up and out of nowhere again, because he was a big name for a very long time at the beginning of all this craziness.
Right.
Absolutely. I remember. It was pretty wild.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing that is kind of interesting that popped up that Jeff brought to our attention before we went on the show was about Tulsi being over in Puerto Rico. And she was there doing some business when it comes to this voting in the elections, because apparently she was there seizing voting machines and electronic data from Puerto Rico. Now, this apparently happened in the spring, which is surprising because it just came out recently, right, Jeff?
Well, they are back. They were back down there again, and there was, and I'm guessing it is because of us having Maduro. They knew where to exactly go to get the hard drives where the software wasn't uninstalled and it was in full operability. Oops.
And that's the thing that has been big, besides the EpSTEIN files, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But this whole voting shenanigans, finding out the reality of what went on in 2020. I mean, it's been here locally. Obviously, Georgia's the big ticket on it, with Tulsi being here and them getting those 300,000 ballots and stuff that they seized last week or the week before or whatever it was. But I find it interesting because what happens if we don't solve anything before the midterms? I've been saying that all along. We have all this information, but doesn't it take a while to process it and then take people through the system, even if they've done something? Or do we have to do something more severe to make it go quicker, because we can't have elections when we know all this is out there like this without anything being resolved?
Well, I think what you're going to have is the first step is, I believe Trump's going to tell the Speaker of the House and to push get the vote pushed on the Senate side of the House, and then, they'll talk with the ranking chair to get the vote for the SAVE Act. Now, if it doesn't pass, and it just came out within the last hour or two that Fetterman is switching sides and he is voting for the SAVE Act. He said it's just common sense. You want to make sure that the person who's supposed to be voting is the person in front of you. Makes too much sense. Um, but if not, if they don't get this passed, and even if they do pass it, there's going to have to be uh, something very drastic because Trump's hit it at it. So was Marco, that they have to clean these voter rolls. And the only way that I believe you're going to be able to clean the voter rolls is you're going to have to wipe them and start fresh.
Well, I did receive a text message. I believe it was last week while I was out of state, to re-register in my hometown county where I vote. So I did receive that, and so they're requiring me to re-register. Could that be part of what you're talking about, Jeff?
Yes. Yeah, and they may just be doing it in small areas to see, before they do the big push.
Yeah. Well, I listen. What I don't, we get a lot of people in here on both sides, and we really appreciate. Listen, if you don't like Trump, I don't care. You have a voice. You can come in here as long as you're respectful. Don't call names. Don't be rude. If you don't like his policies, that's fine. But here's the thing: whether you're Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, red, blue, I don't even care if you're in the middle. I think for all our sakes, we should all want secure elections to where everyone should have to be, one, a citizen of the United States, and two, you should have to show proof through ID that you are who you say you are to vote. Listen, I got hung up in Jersey on my way back to Idaho here, and I didn't have the star card. Remember, we talked about the star card. I didn't have a star my ID. I had to pay a $50 fine just to get home. So now I'm going to the DMV tomorrow to get the little star on my ID, so that because I got to fly here in about 3 more weeks. I don't want to pay $50 each way every time I fly. So, and what the star is on your ID is basically I got to go to the DMV. I got to bring imagine this. I got to bring my social security card. I got to bring my birth certificate and some bills to prove that I am who I say I am. And then they put the star on my ID so that when I'm going through customs or I'm going through the airport security, I've already been vetted, basically, right? So they're vetting me to make sure that I am who I say I am. What is wrong? What's wrong with that? I think all Americans everywhere should want that. Whether, again, you're left, you're right, doesn't matter. Because listen, I believe they're dirty on both sides. And
Yep.
If I have friends that are Democrats out there, if you're listening tonight, you're a Democrat. Listen, I want fair elections for you as well. Like I don't. No part of me wants the right to cheat either to get elected. I just think it's wrong.
Well, this bill, the Saved America Act that they're voting on,
it's intel gathering, Kathy. Listen, they got my information, man. They've had my birth certificate for 51 years. They've had my social security card for 51 years. Like, the information I'm giving them is nothing that they can't get on a computer and already see. I'm not worried about it. I am not worried about them putting a star on my driver's license. I think we should all want that because, again, it's vetting who you are. If you want fair elections, then you should want people to be vetted, period. Like, I'm not afraid of it. If they want to come to my house, they already know where I live. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot stop them gathering information on any of us. It's impossible unless you live off grid. And I watched this guy on YouTube. He's never had a birth certificate. He's never had a social security card. He doesn't exist. That's the only way you can get out of any of this, is if you don't exist already. But for now, a lot of us have already gone up through the corrupt system. You already exist. It's hard to disappear, in my opinion.
Well, people are worried about that. How many people use their face to unlock their damn phone?
Oh yeah.
Look at all
Or
the
their thumb.
biometrics.
Or their
They got
thumbprint.
your fingerprints, right? So, they got all the biometrics on you, anyways. And me, I'm triply screwed because hell, they got my DNA, everything. When you go through a security
Yes, I
clearance
do. I
process.
do vote in the same place every election. For the last few years anyway. But when I traveled for work, I had to vote back home where my residence was. So I do vote in the same place, and it was something that they're requiring me to re-register. And I know that they do that periodically. That they do require you to re-register. But I just thought that maybe that was something that, and I'm trying to answer people in chat. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jeff. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was done.
I was going to continue on with the SAVE Act. All it is voter ID and also proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. There's nothing to it. It's just those two simple things. So how can you possibly be against that? It makes zero sense to me. And you're right. It doesn't matter either side. You would think everybody in this country, after the amount of shit they've seen and corruption and collusion with leaders on both sides, really, and accusations flung around, that everybody would just want it all cleaned up and everything straightened out, and stop saying, oh, it's left or right. It is no longer a left or right thing. It is a we the American people thing. And if you don't think that Americans should be first and all that, and you want all these illegals here, or you want people to be able to do, and you say that America's a melting pot, it is in a sense. But when you have like the Super Bowl where they have the halftime show, and they're not speaking English. English is what bonds us and melts everybody together. People that come here, you speak English. You can speak your other language as well, but English is first. And that halftime show was a complete insult, which I knew it would be, obviously. But I just think that we're getting so carried away about trying not to hurt people's feelings that we think that that's acceptable. It is not acceptable. It is America. English is our language, and that's all there is to it. I'm over trying to get a hold of people on the phone, and I don't understand what the heck they're saying. It's ridiculous. We have to swing the pendulum back and get back to our roots, and that's how I feel about it. This is done and over with this common sense being out the door.
Well, I don't want the halftime show to take over this show tonight. I watched it. It was dumb. Moving on, but I would like to get Jeff's comment about the halftime show. I just thought it was ridiculous. That's all. I'm not trying to read more into it than what it really was. It was just dumb. It was really dumb.
Yeah. Newsflash: I didn't watch any of that dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, perfect. Hey, I want to say thank you. Did you say thank you for the 3 coffees at the beginning of the show?
Not yet. I did not.
All right, well, let's do it, because now we are at what is it, 245. So we're a third of the way to the barbecuer, and I don't know who did the 3 coffees right before the show started. If you can drop your name in chat, we would love to grab your name so that we can put it in the drawing for the barbecue and for the silver coin giveaway. Tammy should be getting those here any day. There was a delay on that from Miles Franklin, so I think it was weather, because when I got to Jersey, it was crazy. So I understand the weather delays, but thank you for the coffees. Really appreciated. And now we are up to $245, which is a third of the way to the barbecue. So I just want to say thank you for that. Put that up on screen so you guys could see it. And moving on.
Moving on to, anyways, the someone, if you didn't catch that, put your name in chat, please, so we can include you in the drawing and the giveaways that we have coming up. But let's go to continue with this voting stuff. Now, you go and stop and think about all the money, because somebody was, people are complaining about the ballroom that Trump is putting at the White House, which is private donors anyhow. But you look at all the money and effort and court and time wasted of everybody and all the things they brought against him. Yet the Dems right now are complaining and yelling about Trump and the DOJ with all these Epstein files and stuff, saying they're wasting time, effort, and money. But now we are 5 or 6 years later here, 6 years, and we're finding out everything was true. Everybody laughed at Rudy Giuliani. I remember them making fun of him and the way he was sweating and when his hair dye was running down his face and stuff. And, Jenna Ellis, who kind of flipped on him as well. Sidney Powell, who was bringing it out there as well, all the different things. Now you've got Tulsi, who went to Puerto Rico to gather machines. You've got all this information out. Everybody should be livid. This is no more like a Trump situation and he can't accept defeat. This is like, it's out there and it's obvious now and everybody's talking about it and there's the proof out there. So I would hope that this would be, my point is, a unifying thing for this country to say, you know what, we've seen enough on both sides. Let's get this right now.
Well, Jeff has shared something with us earlier today, Tammy, that I want to ask him the question. But I want to respond to a comment there in chat. I think we're not having a barbecue. We are giving a barbecue away. So when we do the silver giveaway at the end of March, the end of next month, we're also giving away a $750 grill, a wood pellet barbecue, Z Grill. So that's what the Buy the Coffees are funding. They're funding the Z Grill. But no, we're not like having a big barbecue. We're giving away a barbecue so you can have one at your own home. So Jeff, you had mentioned earlier today about a national emergency. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Well, yeah, that's there's draft plans that if the Senate doesn't do their job and get this SAVE Act passed, and I'm not saying that it's not going to pass, but I'm not saying it's going to pass, especially after yesterday. You had Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer on these Sunday talk shows talking about how Donald Trump is reverting back to Jim Crow laws. I mean, when are these white old fucking men gonna quit race baiting?
I don't know, dude. I don't know why they're still in office. I don't know why they're still in office.
Well, I know why they're still in office. Maybe it's because of those damn machines. I mean, it was so, and this is how ridiculous it's getting, is when Dana Bash on CNN has to tell, congressional members that, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to check IDs when you vote. I mean, this is the Clinton News Network, and they're even saying, we think you're a little off left field on this and calling it racism. I don't know. I went and bought a bottle of scotch for somebody for their birthday and I got carded. I'm like, are you serious? I could probably be your father. And she just laughed and she goes, no, we have to do it.
It's company policy. I've been carded for booze too, and it's like, hey, I show my ID. It's actually, it feels good, right? I enjoy being carded. It makes me feel not so damn old. But
stroking your ego.
You got to show ID for all that stuff. Don't you have to show ID for welfare? Like, I mean, you have to show ID for everything.
Right.
Wouldn't you both agree that having your civil rights, you're getting to exercise your civil right of being an American citizen to vote for anything, whether it's down ticket, up ticket, your local city council, your mayor. We call them commissioners. They call them, I don't know what they call them back east. Governors, lieutenant governors, like everybody. That's like one of the most important things that you can do as an American citizen. Don't you, when you want to protect that? I mean, I want to protect it because I don't think that people should come here illegally or not be a U.S. citizen and vote in my elections. Like they're my elections. And they can be their elections if they come here the right way. And if they become an American citizen, it's their elections too. Lots and lots of people have done it, still doing it, still waiting in line to do it. But I would think that we would want to protect that. That should be like our number one thing, is to protect our elections. Just my opinion.
Well, that's why it should unify us. But not only is it people are fed up and tired, that corruption runs so deep in everything, because Sidney Powell posted just a couple days ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but remember what happened on the Georgia highway to a young man who was connected to Kemp, Loeffler, and Purdue, after all three of them did call actually for a signature audit. And really, she said you need to run the timeline of Kemp's change of heart and add in the dismissal of our 4 federal fraud cases. And that's where the young man, his car went pa-boom. And it was related to Kemp's daughters. He was Kemp's daughter's boyfriend or fiance or something. So what I'm saying is, you think all this is like a movie, and it's not. These people will stop at nothing to keep control over everything. So if we get fatigued and say, guess what? I just don't care anymore. I'm not doing it. That is just giving them the win, because even if it is not perfect or fixed, 2020, we know how much he won by, and that was a lie. And then this last election, he won by a landslide. But like I said, you have to keep fighting the fight. You can't just give up. You can't say, well, you know what, it's crooked and corrupt and we have to give up. But I do think this time around, now after everything's exposed, something does have to be done to ensure the American citizens that it's going to be okay, because the last 2 have been crazy. Now, all the stuff that they call this conspiracy theorists, and, they laughed at all this voting and said, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal and it's racist. And like you're talking about, that's all bullshit. We find out it's all bullshit now, that it's all really true. So we really have to get something done this time around. Whatever it is, it has to be done for the election integrity, period. A lot of people lost. Look at Tina Peters is still in jail. They have not let her out. Trump said, okay, and nobody's listening. I don't know why they don't just go in and grab her, because she did nothing wrong. There's a lot of people still paying the price, emotionally, financially, and for doing the right thing and standing up for election integrity. And that's just wrong, because a lot of people don't have the cojones to stand up, and that's why they get away from it with it. I mean, you can't just have a few people standing up. Everybody has to pay attention.
Jeff, what's the odds? Well, what's your thoughts on it becoming a national emergency and Trump enacts some stuff that maybe could change the midterms? And you could speak more on that. I'm leading you, obviously, but I know we talked about that earlier today.
I think he's going to have to, just for the simple fact is, I mean, look how long it has taken for stuff to come out that we've been saying for 6 years, right? You got what, 9 months, and you haven't even started cleaning the voter rolls. So, and here's why I think it's going to have to be done through a national emergency, national security act. Is hypothetically, let's just say Democrats win the midterms, and statistically, normally, you know, based on previous, whether it was rigged or not, the opposite party has normally gained some seats. So what happens if the Democrats get enough seats and they start the impeachment train again? We're
Yeah.
stuck like Chuck, right?
It's very possible.
So that's why I think that there's going to be a constitutional issue that's going to come up.
Okay.
I agree with that. I think that's what it has to be, because it's not going to be okay, everybody, because, there's a lot of people, a lot of, uh, I don't know if you want to call them truthers or whatever, or podcasters saying, don't give up. You got to get out there and vote. Well, I understand that, but I don't know. I agree. I don't think there's enough time. And I think it has to be a major thing. I know that they were talking about having, wasn't it the National Guard or something at different locations for what's that going to do if the machines and everything are still crooked, or
Yeah.
the programs? That's not going to do anything.
No, not a damn thing.
Well,
And
I still don't know why everybody's throwing a fit about ID either. I went to T-Mobile today, and just to access my own account, I had to show ID.
right.
Just for them to get into my account, my cell phone account. I mean, my cell phone account, and I have to show ID. I don't know what this whole nonsense is that people get upset when you start talking about we all want voter ID. I think it just protects all American citizens, both sides, independents. It protects everybody, and I would think that everybody would want that. Just any reasonable person. I don't want to say crazy, strange, or weird, or loony bin people. I just mean average, everyday people should want that.
Right.
Well, when it comes to that, they don't seem to want it. But like we're talking about, people have cell phones in their hand. They have Bluetooth, everything. I mean, they give so much access to whoever wants or has the access with these programs and this equipment that they're maybe not realizing or thinking about. I mean, your algorithm, the things that you look at on TikTok or these other platforms. I mean, they have all that information. And then I heard too, your smart TVs, that they can actually, when it's on, the speaker comes on and they can tune in to what you're doing or hear what you're doing in the house. Like Alexa, remember Alexa? Everybody loved Alexa at first. I was like, I'm not plugging that thing in my house at all. That thing would come on and spin and nobody said anything to it. I'm like, But like you said, I think we're past the point of us being able to control it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Well, Travis brought up a good point.
What?
He said they sure in the hell wanted vaccine cards.
Yes,
Oh,
they did.
yeah. That is
Yeah.
a very good point. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, they did.
It's unbelievable to me, the hypocrisy of it all. It really
Oh yeah,
is.
absolutely. Yep.
Done.
Well, Tammy, you want to say thank you to Crystal?
Yep. Was it Crystal? Crystal, where's it at?
It's there. It's there. Now we're up to 260 right now. So thank you, Crystal, for your coffees tonight. She bought us 3 coffees tonight. Tammy's not
There
on
it is.
not on the game. So don't worry, Tammy. I got it. I'll grab the ball and run for the touchdown because you're falling asleep over there. So thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. I know Tammy is slipping. It must be her age. So I'll go ahead and I'll pick up the candle. And
You guys, if LW ends up just disappeared someday, we'll give them some prayers and good thoughts.
And blame Hillary.
Exactly, Jeff. That is true. It just came up on my phone. So there, I was looking at it.
Well,
and it just came up.
before we get to EpSTEIN, let's talk about the PR raid. I'd like to give Jeff some time here to talk about that and what's going on there.
Well, so I was informed late last night that a plane had taken off, and that individual asked me if I could contact somebody because they had a record of what that plane was being used for. So I sent off a couple texts and I said, hey, is X, Y, and Z, do they still utilize this plane? And I was told they do. And I said, well, it's interesting. They're on their way to the PR. And they're like, "Oh, really?" And I honestly don't believe they had any clue. And I said, "Well, I had heard that they had found some machines down that was used in Puerto Rico, and whether it was from a source or whether it was from them turning it on, that they were able to locate it, and they sent a team down, uh, like an evidence recovery team. And when they got down there and they started going through the hard drive, they found that all the software and all the manipulation tools were still on there, and it wasn't wiped clean. And so Tulsi Gabbard, which is director of national intelligence, which is a outside looking agency, it's not a inside looking agency. So that tells me that outside interference, because that's kind of like the CIA doesn't technically on the books do anything inside the United States. It's all outside. Anything internal is done through the FBI. So in the DNI, the national intelligence, they have that same mandate. So she shouldn't be going down to Puerto Rico and going into U.S., you know, law enforcement jurisdiction unless there's a foreign element to it.
And that's what that's the left was complaining about, her going down or being involved in any of this. And some
Right.
people as well. And you're exactly right. And she came out and said that, obviously, if it's international like that and it's a threat to our country, of course she's going to be involved in that. So people just go off with half information and like want to get angry about it or something. I don't know what the deal is, but I would rather have all the information and make an educated opinion over it than just whatever it is I want to feel and look to stuff that makes me feel good or look, I'm right. I mean, I don't think anybody's right in all this, really. We still got a mess going on, and I still don't think people have a lot of trust in anybody in government at this point.
No, no, I mean, it's, we're starting to see some, some pushes in the right direction. But we got a long way to go. And as they say, a short time to get there. And I don't know if the bandit's going to be running.
Well, here's the deal. And I can't speak for everybody. I'm generalizing. I know that we have people in here that dislike Trump. And again, you guys are welcome here. And I appreciate Skippy being here tonight. I don't know who you are, but you're welcome here. I don't see you being rude. We love having the other side perspective of comments. So thank you for that. So with that being said, I know that they don't trust the current administration right now. They don't trust Trump. They don't trust any of his people. And I think I can see their side of that. I definitely think that if you're presented certain things, why would you trust him, right? It's no different than we didn't trust the person that was in their last 4 years, right? So I at this point, this is what I want to generalize my statement. Whether you're left or right, you don't trust the government, period. Like nobody trusts them. So even me, I don't, Captain Skeptic, there's a lot of things, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of them. I think there's always room for improvement. I'll just put it that way.
Well, you have to remember too, with all the corruption that we're seeing in our government on both sides, how do you trust anyone? And anybody that tries to be open and honest, do they get rid of or whatever? So yeah, the whole system has to be fixed. I don't think that the American citizens are wrong for having distrust. And that goes into some other people too. Real quick, I want to say thanks to White Devil. White Devil bought us 3 coffees and said, if you have a smartphone, smart TV or smart appliances, they have access. And that's what I was talking about before, that they do have access to anything, like even in your vehicle with the OnStar and all that. So
Yep.
15
Well, thanks,
bucks.
Thanks, White Devil, and that puts us now, Tammy, at 275 for tonight. So
Very
that's
nice.
total. That's not just for tonight. That is total toward the 750 for the grill. So thank you, White Devil, for that. Appreciate it. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, what a great time. Go ahead, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that your internet brother here, as much as he's been harping on us, that he hasn't showed these tumblers yet.
Exactly.
Funny you say that, Jeff.
Funny you say that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I do have them here on screen. We'll show it at the end of the night, because I want to cover Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh
And
yeah.
oh, here we go.
I do have the website up. I do have the tumblers on screen, and we'll show that. But that's pretty much the last topic for tonight. And I know I did reach out to one of the producers today. Thank you for subscribing, Skippy. I appreciate that. I did reach out to one of the producers today. We are going to try to get the call-in show fixed so we can take calls, because I'd love to have somebody like Skippy call in and tell us, the other side of what we're talking about, some of these hot topics, and what he thinks or they think. Not trying to offend anybody, but I think that being human, we all have the ability to see things through different lenses, whether it be our upbringing, our parents, where we were brought up, whether our parents were Republican or Democrat or independents, and the people that we hang around with, people at work. Like we are all subject to our environments, and so everyone has a different perspective of things, and so I like to hear everybody's perspectives. I think that's what helps us all grow. And when you hear something that makes you uncomfortable, that's another thing that helps us grow as human beings. And so I'm not afraid to hear other people's ideas on what they feel is going on or what they think is going on. So I just have to throw that out there because I love the conversation and chat. I'm trying to read as many comments as I possibly can. It's hard to keep up.
It really is, but it is true. And LW's made me very uncomfortable for 4 or 5 years now. That's why I'm as gray as I am. But it's like he's the thorn in my side that I kind of get used to it. Sometimes God doesn't take the thorns out, and that's okay. I've learned to live with it. But as we get into Epstein and stuff, this is a whole shitstorm that happened, you guys, because not just what is in the files, but let me just do an overview real quick so we don't skip any of the information, because we can talk about the information that's come out in there. We can talk about Dan, Bondi, and Cash all said nothing was in it, and they all knew. Those SOBs knew everything that was in there, and they tried to make us turn the other way. We got Sean Ryan saying that he doesn't support Trump or anybody anymore, because how can you support people that tried to protect these people? Then you've got this whole brand new feud coming out with Steve Bannon and Elon Musk. Elon Musk has recently called what?
Oh, I'm just answering Mischief's comment. She said, "Well, LW's beard is pretty gray. Who did that?" And I'm just pointing to the person that's directly above me.
No, he's trying to look like me with the gray hair because it's very distinguished and it shows wisdom. And he's just like, he doesn't have the wisdom that he's got to show his wisdom. Anyhow, but this has really got me. I want to know what you guys think about this too, is Elon Musk has called Steve Bannon evil. He said because Bannon was laundering money for evil people. And Steve Bannon, the interview was finally released, the full one that Bannon did years ago with Epstein, and supposedly was really close and friendly with Epstein and was trying to correct the persona that Epstein had at the time. Now, I haven't heard Bannon talk about it, but this is what I mean. This is the whole storm that is blown up over these Epstein files, not to mention the horrific things that are being said and done, not just by average people like us who've been saying it for a long time, a lot of new people are looking at these files and posting things from these files that it's so disturbing. And then you've got mainstream people talking about this as well. So I don't know how we even have trust in people with that, because like I said, Dan, Bondi, and Cash all knew this and tried to bury it all. And Trump was on record saying, I can't believe people want to know about Epstein because it's so boring. Those files are so boring. I saw a clip of it the other day. So I don't know where you want to start with the information or the shitstorm of people.
Well, I would I would like to ask Chad a question.
Okay.
And I would like to ask Jeff the same question, have him answer the question. So, are you guys a fan of Steve Bannon? Or are you not a fan of Steve Bannon? I have my own thought on your comment there, Tammy, about the interview with Epstein, but I want to go after Jeff because I might have a different perspective. So, and mine will be short and sweet. So go ahead, Jeff. What are your thoughts on Steve Bannon's interview that's been blasted all over the internet on Jeffrey Epstein?
I can't even comment because I haven't even seen it.
Okay, well, yours will be a little bit shorter than mine then, because mine is, I feel like it's possibly taken out of context. You know, and that's my concern is things get twisted all the time to get people to. It's like you're herding sheep, and you put things out there for people to either turn a certain way or follow a certain way. I don't necessarily think that Steve Bannon is a bad person. But could that have been something that was taken completely out of context? Hey, I have had shit that I have said myself completely taking out of context, and we know that where that was years ago. So I'm not going to throw stones, that's for sure.
Well, you know, I love Steve Bannon. I love that man. I think he's so intelligent, and all he's done since he's been have his war room, he's done a lot of good, and he's not done anything bad. But my concern is you've got Elon Musk saying this, and what the details of it are, he's saying that Epstein used that World of Warcraft gold from that game to move money without it getting traced. And that was in 2007. Bannon was also, they say, coincidentally running a Chinese company that sold in-game gold for real cash. So that's a huge story to make up and make accusations about if it isn't true. So there's some details there. It's not just Elon throwing it out there. But then again, do we like and trust Elon? Elon all along with this Epstein stuff has said, get the people, put it out there. Elon has never backed away saying, turn over here and look over here. This is more important. Trump has. Bondi, Cash, Dan have all said, look the other way. But Elon's never said that. So where do we, now he's calling out Bannon. So how do we feel about this? This is what I mean. It's such a mess. It's like, who do you trust and who do you believe? I never thought, like, why was Steve Bannon interviewing Epstein in the first place? And it was a documentary supposedly that never got released because the interview he finished a few days before his arrest. So he never put it out there. It was released with all these files.
But hold on a second, Tammy. Are you insinuating just because Steve Bannon wanted to or had the opportunity to interview Jeffrey Epstein that he had some ill intent, like he wanted to protect him or make him look good? Or because honestly, I would interview him. Like,
I watched.
Does that make me a bad person? Like,
no, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. I watched the interview, and it was to clear up his reputation because of the reputation, the way it was going.
Fair enough.
And
I haven't watched the interview. So
yeah.
Again, I've just seen the clips that they put out on X and other places, and so I just don't know if what Bannon said was taken out of context. I don't know. I can't. I'm like Jeff. I can't speak on it. That's why I just said maybe it's out of context because I don't know.
Yeah, and people flip flop things, and the interview is real. He really did it. He never released it, but all he's done is good for the country. So
But here's the other thing: they all call each other out all the time. Remember, we've had this conversation. It's like it's like a tug of war. It almost seems like, and it's back and forth. And I do believe a lot of it is distraction and a deflection. Like if something's going on, they want to create some kind of drama over here because they don't want you to see what's going on over here. And so that I know is something that is part of the plan, part of their game plan. That's like their whether it be left or right, they're always wanting, to confuse us. Totally agree. And so I don't put a lot of stock, I guess, for me personally, I don't put a lot of stock into some of that stuff. I'm trying to pay attention to what they don't want you to see, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then the other twist to this whole Epstein file release is Trump's been out all over the place saying that he likes Clinton and Clinton likes me, and he doesn't like that he's being gone after over these files. So what kind of mental psyop crazy crap is that, Jeff?
I don't know. We asked chat this a week ago. I'm going to ask him again. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump standing up for Bill Clinton? Now, a lot of you will think it's part of the plan. You're watching a movie, and is this, but and that very well may be true. I can't discount that. But is he standing up for Bill Clinton because they're buddies? Because we know that they go way back, right? And here's another assumption on my part. I feel like a lot of times the right can't prosecute the left, because if the right prosecutes the left, they'd have to prosecute themselves. And the same with the left prosecuting the right. They can't really do it, or they'd have to prosecute themselves because they're all dirty. Disinformation. It's so, I guess the question about Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, I don't know. Again, it's something I'm not putting a lot of stock into. Just me.
Jeff?
But I've been all over the country for the last 14 days. So, my mind hasn't been focused on this stuff as much as normal.
So you ready for my long drawn out answer?
Go for
Let's
it, Jill.
go.
Go for it. Hit it.
So that letter in the alphabet says, what makes good movies? Great fucking actors. Okay? And now, and I'm going to put this to you. And I'm not saying Donald Trump come up with this. I'm going to tell you who I 100% believe came up with this. In the beginning, Donald Trump said, there's nothing in those damn files. You guys are all fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats throw their hands up. Release the damn files. You're in it. You're in it. You're covering up. Okay, so Donald Trump says, all right, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, release that shit. And guess what? You can go on DOJ's website and you can start typing in words in the Epstein list. They have it up. Well, not the list. They have the Epstein files up there. They just added 2 million more pages today. Go type in words like jerky, pizza, all those damn trigger words that we were told we were crazy about. Look how many times they come up in that search. And then you start clicking on the PDFs. And now the Democrats and some Republicans are trying to court shop to get a federal judge to get them to stop releasing these documents. Okay? That came out because old Giselle Maxwell was in Congress. And they took her to the skiff. And I was told when they got her in there, she took the fifth. She said she has a deal already. I can't confirm it. I don't think the person's bullshitting me. There's only one person you can make a damn deal with right now, other than the devil. And that's the U.S. military and the Judge Advocate General Corps.
Well,
That's it.
Well, she did plead the fifth today because I think it was that Crockett lady and a couple other of the Dems came out after this. It was via video. She wants clemency from Trump. So the Dems, when they came out and were talking about this, which I found kind of a mind twist too, because the Dems said, oh, Trump could end it now by saying he's not going to give her clemency, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right.
But she's not talking. They're saying, oh, she's not talking because she wants clemency and Trump hasn't denied it yet. That's what they're swinging it towards. But what you're saying seems to make more sense.
Well, going back to this whole Operation Mindfuck, don't release the files, release the files, he's bad, she's bad. There's this little place out in the middle of the Arizona desert, 60 miles north of the Mexican border, called Fort Huachuca, Arizona, the Army's intelligence headquarters.
I thought you were going to say the train station.
No. I spent 9 months out there going through intelligence, counterintelligence, BMS, and AMS school. That's where a lot of this stuff, because it's psychological warfare. You have to remember, Donald Trump signed that executive order to authorize the military to use synthetic rubber mask and psychological warfare as part of an ongoing national security operation. And when you go to the DOJ's website and you start looking up this Epstein stuff, type in the word mask, MASK. Why does it say Joe Biden during his presidency was wearing a synthetic rubber mask?
In the files.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Wow.
This is turning into a shitstorm. Let me breathe some clarity here. Or maybe I stir the pot more. Okay. So, yes, the Epstein files, we've been asking for them. They held off. And of course, I think we all three can agree that if there was anything dirty in there about Trump, it would have been out a long time ago. He would not be president right now because they would use that against him 1,000%. So here's where I muddy the water a little bit. I've seen a lot of videos out there where they redacted a lot of stuff, a lot of Sharpie marks through a lot of stuff. That's concerning to me, but there has been so many videos out there all over the place talking about the mask of Joe Biden, talking about all kinds of stuff. But here's the craziest thing that I want to stir the pot on. Did you guys hear what Bill Maher said the other day?
What'd he say? No.
Are you shitting me? Is this breaking news?
It's breaking news from LW.
It's breaking news. I need a breaking news thing.
It's a drum roll.
Breaking news. Let me ask chat real quick before I go any further, and they can answer the question. Did anybody hear what Bill Maher said? I don't know. It was like 2 days ago. It was after the release of the Epstein list, and everything was breaking. Everything was coming out. Bill Maher. Let me see. It has to do with Aeons for sure. He said that they deserve an apology.
Oh, the Anons.
The Anons, yes.
Yeah.
That they deserve an apology. And I mean, I caught a short clip again. I don't know if it was taken out of context or what. But it seemed to me, for what I seen, that a lot of this stuff that's come true, that we all got called all these crazy nonsense names, that a lot of us deserve, and I don't claim to be one of those people. I just report what we find, but I found that pretty strange.
Well, that is one side of it, and I get that. And I would say, yeah, they do deserve an apology. But then I just saw what United We Stand posted said, and he said, if any of the Anons or any of this allowed, right here, I had a tough conversation with an Anon. If this operation allowed the ape and murder of children, I want it all ripped out at the core. I couldn't agree more, because
I couldn't agree more too.
So my thing is it all over and done with and it's not happening anymore? Fine. But if it's people are claiming that this operation is ongoing, but they're still allowing it to happen. And that isn't the main focus of the operation. That is a problem. And,
Well, what about the kid that was just reporting that it's business as usual on Epstein Island?
Yeah.
Like, so that just came out just a while back, like a few days ago. And this kid was scared for his life. Like, he said, "Hey, I am not suicidal. I don't like kiddie porn." Like, because that's how they set you up, right? And I've said that many times on this show. I'm not into that stuff, nor am I suicidal, because they like to plant that shit on your computer and then raid your home, and then you're off in handcuffs and disappear. But this kid was just out riding jet skis, had his phone, and there were people there taking pictures of him. There were what looked to be, again, I don't know if it's true, but what looked to be underage young ladies there. And so I find that concerning.
Yeah, it looked like it was very active. And this person was saying, Rudy, the physical operation part's done. It's all mental gymnastics from this point on. Well, hopefully, but like LW said, there's a kid out there and there's other people out there. And you guys have to remember this. There's not just one island. It wasn't just Epstein and Ghislaine working alone. They weren't the headmasters of this. I think they were the puppets or the connectors to it, but there's much more powerful people out there that were ahead of that. And I think there's more islands, just like there's tons of tunnels. But my question is, not only is it a big operation for the people that did all this, stop and think about the chefs that worked for them, the housekeepers, the neighbors, the drivers of these people, the pilots that flew these people, possibly doctors that had to treat. Think of the enormous amount of people that had to be hushed through this whole thing. And like I said, it takes me back to Dan, Bondi, and Cash. What the heck? Dan comes back on the air. And by the way, it just came out. Dan is going to be a contributor back on Fox News during the Hannity show, just so you guys know. That's late and breaking, the last 40 minutes. But they came out and they kept telling us, go the other way, go the other way. It wasn't, guess what, guys, we've got a lot. Guess what, we're going to find this out for you. Guess what, justice is coming. We've got flip-flapped all over the place by our own people investigating it. Don't forget, Dan was in there, Cash was in there. They were all in there and have known this for a very long time. So I have a problem with that. I just have a huge problem with them trying to make us look over here instead of giving us some sense of peace. I don't buy that it's too much and they can't take care of it. If it's already taken care of, like people say, and there's this other operation going on, why wouldn't they soothe people instead of make us look the other way? I don't get that logic.
Well,
let me ask chat this question. I want to ask Jeff this question, answer it on those lines. I know that we were all fans of Cash Patel. We were all fans of Bondi for a minute, a short minute. And of course, a lot of people are still fans of Dan Bongino and I, I was there. But then remember Tammy and Jeff, and this question goes to Jeff, and I'm going to ask chat the same question. Do you guys remember when Dan Bongino and Cash Patel came on national television, looked right at the camera and said, "There's nothing in the files, move on"? Do you remember when Donald Trump said that? Why are we still talking about this? There's more important things that we need to talk about. And then all this is dumped. All of this is breaking. As a viewer tonight, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the whole Cash Patel, Dan Bongino looking at the camera and saying they looked at it all, there's nothing there? How do you feel about Trump saying that on national television? Because I know that bugged Tammy when he said that. So Jeff, and then I'll go to Tammy. What are your thoughts on that, Jeff?
I think you are watching a very, very masterful play done by L4. L4 is the legal portion of the military, the Judge Advocate General Court. Because, and I'll go back to, I believe Trump has already invoked the Insurrection Act. I believe he did it on J6. And until the military comes back to the commander in chief and tells the commander in chief the insurrection has been squashed, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, the big chair, the whole ball of wax, they have to play to what the Judge Advocate General Corps has to. I watched it. I was so pissed off at Cash Patel and Dan Bongino. But after you take a day or two, you sit back. Same with Trump. I was pissed off when he was talking about the Epstein list because I know people that have looked at the Biden laptop and they said it's absolutely disgusting. But you look, we're paying if what we think is going on, we are playing for the whole ball of wax, and so are they. We are just taking, I believe, more chess pieces off. And I mean, just think 6 months ago, the Democrats wanted everything released on the Epstein file. Now they are going to federal court to get the DOJ to stop it. But you just wanted it.
Pick this shit up.
No. So, like I said, you know Chris Miller when he wrote that inquiry to the president for the authorization of synthetic rubber mask and psychological warfare. You are watching it right now. People are so confused. They don't look. The dollar's tanking. Earlier today, it was tanking. Um, you were watching a lack of a better word, a total mind fuck. And they're doing it
Agree with
slowly. Yeah, they're doing it
Yeah.
slowly because, I mean, look, not to even get off topic. I mean, look at this bullshit with Samantha Guthrie's mom.
Oh,
Have you
that's
guys,
insane.
have
That's
you
nuts.
guys, look, Samantha Guthrie, look, and I believe it's cartel related. I really, really do because people, where they want to believe it or not, Samantha Guthrie and Don Jr., I've been told, are good friends. And if Trump has been threatening these cartels are going to be playing for a whole ball of wax. They know damn well they can't get to Trump and they can't get to Trump's family. So why don't we go after somebody close to the family? And if you remember, about 4 to 6 weeks ago, I was telling people that out in Arizona, the FBI was going out and arresting law enforcement officers for taking payments from drug cartels.
Jeez.
And now, I'm not saying that, maybe this lady's deceased, maybe the son in law, but if you watch their latest video about this ransom, I don't give a shit how strong you are. If your damn mother is missing and you don't know if she's alive or dead, and you put on a bullshit performance like that on Instagram, come the fuck on. Look, I mean, I can't even see how the FBI even let that shit happen. And I don't. And Cletus out there, the damn sheriff. I don't know if that guy has Alzheimer's or if he's quaking in his boots because maybe he took some cartel money, allegedly. You
Right.
know,
Well, it was weird too because they wanted 6 million in Bitcoin, and this was the second ransom request, and it ended today sometime. And
yeah,
I
5 o'clock.
haven't heard. Yeah, so I don't know what the
Why
next
would you
thing
want to
is.
give up that kind of money for an old bag anyway?
I mean, it's insane. It's just
She lived a good
crazy.
life.
Look, it does not make
Killer.
any fucking sense.
None of it does. She
None of it.
recited Silence of the Lamb line. Okay, so Silence of the Lamb, where she said, "Please talk to her. You'll find out she's a nice person," and that's what made in the news that Samantha said that line to this alleged or whoever kidnappers of the mom, and said that. And then you've got at the Super Bowl the one guy, team player, walking in jumpsuit or
Shackles.
in shackles on the hands, feet, barefoot, walking in the stadium with a freaking Hannibal Lecter mask. Another reference to Silence of the Lamb. Like, that is just really bizarre. Those two things in itself are so bizarre. It's like they're so ridiculous. You feel like you're living in clown world, and you can't absorb anything about it. But it's true. We have so much information now. That's the problem I think people are having between all these files, the Marco Polo book, which was the release of Hunter's laptop, and all the pictures. I saw that myself. It's very disturbing and disgusting. And you still got Pelosi and Wiener's laptop that are wherever those went. We don't know anything
Weirdest
about.
last name in the world. If I had that name, I would change my last name. You know,
You would have to. Well, what
from
he
Wiener
was.
from Wiener to Richard or something.
Well,
mean,
he
come
also
on,
showed the last name around, remember, on his laptop.
yeah.
I
Did
mean,
you,
how weird is that?
Jeff? Did you see the comment from Brother John there? He wants to know if there's any updates or anything that you can share about the sealed indictments.
No, I mean, I know that there are somebody, now I can't 100% testify to it. I was told that Friday a particular person was brought into the U.S. Supreme Court named of last name Brunson.
What?
Yes.
Fucking dude, every time.
I mean, your hair gets grayer every show we do.
Because when you think you got a handle on one thing, then something goes kapowie kabam like a comic book over on the other side. It's just incredible.
Well,
It's
you
just
know, well, you remember, Mike, when we were talking about this 4 years ago, and I had told you that I was made to the understanding that the Brunson case was already decided.
Yeah.
Now, look, the news media has put out, mainstream news media, they've already proven that there was hanky panky in the 2020 election, correct?
a lot of it.
Now, go back and read Trump's executive order on elections. If one singular vote was illegally cast anywhere in the country, the 2020 election is null and void. It was presented to the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court said it's within the presidential powers and under national security guidelines. There was one vote that they've already proven in Georgia during the FBI raid. 2020 is null and void. Now, I kept telling people there's going to be a constitutional crisis. Here's your constitutional crisis. What the hell do you do to overt this? Now, you notice that Trump just released Trump RX yesterday or today, right?
Yep.
Sounds like there's going to be an issue with the Obama presidency because guess what? Obamacare is out the door and here comes Trump RX.
Yep. That's true. That is true. Man, shebang. It is crazy. I mean, crazy is not even the right word for it. It is just, I agree with the
Absolute Amish shit show.
everywhere. Everywhere. Where is the sanity anymore? Is there sanity anywhere? Because not only are we trying to wrap it, United We Stand, yes. Not only are we trying to wrap our heads around all the normal stuff, then you've got the stuff he's talking about that came out in the Epstein files. Like they are hitting us with logistics, with financials, with voting, with wars, with now with this, the predators, sexual predators. Like it is every way, shape, and form of the human emotion out there and the human psyche for everything. It's just insanity.
Right.
Popcorn. I'm gonna switch to caramel corn or caramel chocolate toffee.
I wish I could reach back out to Bronson's and see if they come back on. We interviewed him years ago, but
Yeah.
I know he kind of went under the radar there for a while. He did a lot for a while, and then he just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, him, Linwood, the Kraken, all of them disappeared.
Yep, Sydney's back posting like crazy on X. My question is to continue on what we were saying, the crisis in 2020 null and void. What the skittle daddle happens if that's proven? What happens?
Well, I mean, I was told the Supreme Court had already heard this case because it was brought up that Trump didn't have executive privilege to do it. The Supreme Court heard it in a closed door session, meaning that it wouldn't be logged in the public viewable logs for cases. And it was I want to say a 7-2 decision, but don't quote me on it, that it was within presidential powers. Now, if you get rid of the 2020 election, what do you do? What can be done? How do you correct anything? I mean,
Yeah,
all
that's
the
my point.
right, all legislation, and here's the thing. If you get rid of all the legislation, all the appointments, this is your constitutional crisis because the U.S. Constitution does not address this.
Here's something crazy. Sarah's comment. She says, "I saw your interview, Mike, with Brunson. If you remember, and I think it's still out there somewhere. Maybe somebody can find it. I think we made a short out of it. Somebody made a short out of it. But when I was interviewing Brunson, it was right before Christmas.
Right?
It was like November, and I asked him this specific question." And all I got from him was a very deep chuckle. And all he said was, "We're going to have a good Christmas." And we both laughed our asses off. I'm telling you, man, I want to go back and watch that damn video again because if somebody can find it, send it to me. It's out there somewhere. I might have deleted it by now, but yeah, he laughed his freaking ass off, really deep chuckle, and just went, "Well, it's going to be a good Christmas."
Well, and
I'm not saying that we're going to have a good Christmas. All I want to say is I felt like he really knew something that he could not say.
Correct.
Like I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm connect some dots for Jeff here where he says that
it was already decided.
It was already done, and he already knew it, and he couldn't say a damn thing about it.
And he couldn't say a damn thing because he was probably put under a non-disclosure agreement saying you cannot say shit. And guess what?
He didn't say he couldn't laugh, though.
Right. He didn't say, "Hey, happy Chris Mahana Kwanzaa," but what better way to make sure you don't say shit is you get your ass off social media.
Exactly. Sarah's comment. It's what he didn't say.
Correct.
In that interview, it's what he didn't say.
Right. I mean, Trump does the same thing. A lot of these players that I think have been culminated to save this republic, they all do the same thing. It's don't listen to what they're taught. Listen to how they say it and what they don't say.
100%. Just like Mike, who's that guy? It was a Dan Gob that we met in Missouri and that you've interviewed. Okay.
Colonel Gobb. Yeah.
Colonel Gob. Okay.
Colonel.
So I did. Yeah.
Retired Colonel Gobb.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
I knew it was
I'm
last
here
name.
to keep it respectful, Tammy.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Well, anyways,
Welcome,
when
Tammy.
it was the same thing what Jeff's talking about and you're talking about, that when I talked to him and we were off mic and done with the interview, he kept saying 17, the number 17, but he was using it as stats and all this stuff. And he'd look at me and go 17. And then he'd say, 19, 17. And I'm like, and I stopped him and I'm like, you keep saying 17, haha, and laughed it off, being the blonde, just laughing it off like, no, but, and he just looked at me. And every time I pushed him for something, he just kept talking, but he had that look like, that I know, and I know that you know, but I can't say. It was the weirdest experience ever. And I was shaking when we left the conversation, but it's true. And remember I told you guys on the show a little while ago, he was in the papers, those signed papers. I forget what they were, but he was one of the signatures on the papers for whatever kind of, if it was a meeting and some kind of, undercover stuff.
It was military that support. It was military officers that supported Donald Trump.
It was something else too, but I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But anyhow,
all I can tell you, Tammy, is maybe wean yourself a little bit off of that mushroom cup you like to have in the morning.
Hey,
wean yourself off of it because you tend to shake and have these thoughts.
Some of the thoughts I have are actually really good, but sometimes I got to shake the memory loose. That's all it is. There's this twitches, but I just think that things aren't going to settle down by any time soon.
No.
And, we're getting slapped around a lot. Like I said, and some of the viewers and people in comments in the chat were saying it as well. And, Trump has dealt with how highs and lows of his presidency this go around. And we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I can't predict it. I'm not even going to try to predict it. I'm just going to report what I see. And that's all there is to it.
Oh, there's your tumblers, Jeff B. You can talk about it as we exit stage right, and get out of here for the evening. So, I think there's one of the tumbler wraps right there that War Machine made for us. But that's some of the stuff
if
we're going to talk about real quick.
If you click on that,
click on what?
The tumbler wrap.
The wrap? Okay.
Yep.
Let me go back to, oh God. Now you put me under pressure.
Right.
There we go. Okay.
Click on it. And so in that drop down box to the right of the picture, you can select what wrap you want put on a tumbler.
Oh, cool. There's 3 of them.
Yep.
Look at how detailed that is, everybody. War Machine did that. War Machine designed all of that. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, well, I can't wait to get the tumblers in because I'll be showing them on camera as I'm drinking from them. So haven't got them yet, but they're on their way. So I cannot wait.
Yeah,
but those are the 3 choices right there.
Yeah, the 1.5 feet of snow that we got kind of really screwed everything up with shipping and outgoing products.
That makes sense. It was something. I'm blaming LW because he traveled to our side of the country, which he never has before. And of course, 2 of the biggest storms.
You can call me Father Winter.
Yeah.
Father Winter.
You look like it. That's for sure.
I mean, he's like 3 gray hairs from being known as Burl Ives.
Right. That's true. That's true. Oh, somebody said, what does Jeff think on silver and gold still fighting the manipulation?
I think gold is way undervalued. I think they're trying to suppress gold right now because they're worried about silver and what JP Morgan wrote all those certificates, and they're not going to be able to produce the silver.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie
Yeah,
Diamond.
I'm looking at it right now. It's back up to $83.52 an ounce. It was as low as 68. And I was telling people it's going to go down, wait for it to go down, and then buy like a son of a bitch, because I believe it's going to go back up well over what the high was, which was like one. I think it might have got as close as 120, but I think it's going to go much higher than that. So if you guys got an opportunity to buy silver, buy gold, I would. But the silver is going to go back up. I think they're going to sell that short. They sold the shorts to make that thing go down. And you're right, Jeff. They're definitely not going to be able to facilitate physical silver to all the people that bought paper.
Right.
It's hard to get it right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
what are our final thoughts for tonight, Tammy?
Well, who do you want to go first?
Well, let's let Jeff go. That way he can skedaddle.
Okay.
So my final thought is I have physically was sent a document that I'm of the understanding that is going to be made public. And this document has signatures of cabinet members of the previous administration, the Obama administration, and some both left and right side aisle politicians that signed off on the attempted coup of the United States government to get rid of Donald Trump. And,
Alrighty.
and I am of the understanding that that is going to be made public during this national emergency.
Holy cow. Well, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Yes.
All right, Jeff.
All
Well,
right, folks.
I'm hoping that people reach out to you. I would love to see those tumblers go out. Don't forget, we got promo code. What's the promo code for tonight, Jeff? Is there one or two?
Yeah, it's just free ship.
Free ship. So if you buy like 2 t-shirts, you get free shipping, which is around $45. And
Yep.
anything over $45, you guys get free shipping. Buy 3 t-shirts, get a tumbler. It's like 20% off the tumbler, free shipping. It's a
Right.
great time to buy till the end of the month. We're trying to move product. So if you guys haven't bought any yet, I suggest that you reach out and do that. And Jeff's crew, they're on it. So I appreciate that. Thanks for joining us tonight, Jeff. Appreciate
All
it.
right. You
Yeah.
guys have a good evening. And
You too,
Tammy,
Jeff. Yeah.
you don't have to be nice to him.
I know. I've learned that because being nice to him does you no good. So I give
Zero.
what he gets. He gets what he gives.
All right, guys. Have a good
Hi,
evening.
Jeff.
All right,
Thanks.
see you, Jeff. All right, Tammy. Well, what a great show. And to answer Kathy H's question, when I purchased the silver, it was right around $80 an ounce. And right after I purchased it, it jumped all the way up to 100 and I think it was 120, 119, something like that. So immediately, as soon as I bought the silver, it already gained almost $40 an ounce. And we're going to be giving that away at the end of March. So get in on that. And how you do that is you can Venmo us, you can Cash App us, you can buy us a coffee. Every $5 that's spent is an entry into that giveaway. If you buy merchandise from our merch, every $5 increment is an entry into not just a silver giveaway, but we're giving away $200 gift certificates to the store, and we're giving away a $750 pellet grill in March. So that's how you qualify. So you get an entry for every $5 you spend or every $5 you send. And again, it's reverse grifting, like Jeff said.
He loves to say.
The silver's already been bought and paid for. I got an email the other day. I think it was like February the 2nd or the 3rd that it had been shipped. So will let us know as soon as she gets it, and then we'll be saving that and ready to give it away. And hell, if silver somehow by March jumps up to $200 an ounce, I guess for every coin we give away, that's $200 worth of silver. So a $5 investment in a $100 coin, not a horrible thing. So I know a lot of you have received silver coins from us, and I know my brother John Estabrooks has donated silver coins to us that we've given away. So we've given away a lot of silver. We've given a lot of merchandise. And so this spring, right before summer hit, I want to do something super special for you guys. I wanted to give away an awesome pellet grill that you guys can share memories with your family and grill out some amazing food on that. And it's just a lot of fun.
It really is. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I love it. So
that's my final thought for tonight.
He went, it was always beast before beauty. So that's fine. You're the beast and I'm the beauty. Anyhow.
Well, I am the beauty, and sometimes you can look like a beast.
So bad. Just one up for you. We have to announce too, we're going to be back tomorrow night, LW.
Yep.
With our guy John E is going to join us, and we will have another great show with John E tomorrow night. LW, myself, and John E. So look forward to that. We will post it as well for those who have already left. But my final thought is, after all the stress and ugliness that's out there, especially with these Epstein files, it was really good to have a show and be able to laugh and joke a little bit, being so serious. And I was actually kind of down and depressed reading all that information. But, you know, that's our job. We have to know what's going on. It just felt really good tonight to share a little laugh and lighten things up a little bit in as intense as everything is. So it was a good time tonight. And I thank the audience for that as well, all across all the platforms who joined us.
Absolutely. One last update real quick before we get out of here. Dave Crumpta, thank you so much. And he has supported our channel for a very long time, on and off through the years. And I really appreciate you. He just did a super chat over on Rumble for $10. So that's got us up to $285. And he says, great show tonight. I got here late. Well, you know, hey, late is better than never. And even if you're watching the replay later, we still love you. Thank you guys for being here. And Tammy Jackson. Tammy Jackson just did a Cash App to me for another $20.
Wow.
And she says, let me see if she says anything. Just because. Thank you, Tammy Jackson.
Sweet.
So now that puts us over 300. So that puts us at 305. And this is the cool thing, Tammy. I can come in here like this and go 305. And it changes. Boom, 305.
So now we're at toys.
Yeah, I like the toys. So now we're at 305. We're almost halfway to the grill. So we're getting close to halfway. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Not bad at all. Yes. So we will be back tomorrow. Like I said, I look forward to that. It's nice to have you back home and back in the seat, in the saddle, as they say, and us all being able to do shows.
Giddy on up, little doggy.
Giddy up. With that, we should play the wings and get out of here, I guess. Don't forget
You're driving the bus, Tammy. You're driving the bus.
Oh, stop. I have to do it. Okay, I'll get it. Let me find the wings. So with that,
do the wings.
we
Good night,
bid
y'all.
you all adieu.
See you.